Welcome to Creative Design Studios in this wonderful state of Texas. I'd like to welcome everyone. Lunch will be served promptly at 2:30 and coffee will be served shortly. Please give a warm welcome for Nathan Colston. He is an author. He has books at Amazon and audiobooks as well. So make him feel welcome. This is Nathan Colston.
Hello everyone, my name is Nathan Colston. I am an over-the-road truck driver / author. I'm basically a rather boring guy. I travel all over the country. I spend anywhere between 5 to 6 days, 7 days out on the road before I make it home. I drive anywhere between 3,000 to 4,000 miles a week. So when I get home, I pretty much don't want to go anywhere or do anything. What I call an adventurous day is not cussing some idiot and doing my best to not to run over some idiot for doing something stupid in front of me. And believe it or not, those days are very few and far between. So when I get home, I basically want to chill. Cook out on my grill, have a beer or two, maybe a mixed drink or two. I like Crown Apple and 7-Up. I have one or two of them. I watch very little TV. My form of entertainment is writing and audiobooks. And that's pretty much about it. I think a great day is when I sleep at home in my bed that ain't rattling, or sit in my office without things flying past me and hearing a bunch of rattling going on. How I became an author or decided to become an author, that is a rather long story. I'll shorten it up as much as I can. I was in between 7 and 10 years old. I spent the weekend at my cousin's house, and I came in and didn't do my homework. I went to school Monday morning, and my teacher asked me where was my homework. Well, I didn't want to say the dog ate it. I think I might have used that excuse once or twice. So I said something completely stupid. Bigfoot ate my homework. She looked at me and told me to go have a seat. She was also my 7th period um, study hall teacher. Well, when I come in the study hall that afternoon rather, she said to me, Nathan, I have been curious all day long. How did Bigfoot eat eat your homework? Well, I was just a person for the story. Let me tell you, looking back now, that was the most stupidest thing I had ever said in my entire life. Now, if you knew me, that would be saying a lot. But anywho, I thought I pulled it off. And as class ended, I was fixing to walk out to go to the bus. She pulled me to her desk and she said, Nathan, I want to tell you something. You have a very wild and vivid imagination. I think you should be a writer. Well, I do believe that was probably my very first compliment I ever gotten in my life. I know it was the first and probably the only compliment I ever got while I was in school, which wasn't very much longer. But she allowed me to tell stories the rest of the year. And by the way, I got an A for Bigfoot eating my homework, which I thought was cool because, if I'm not mistaken, that was probably my first A as well. But anywho, I told stories. Back in 2001, she came to the house and I had just come in. And I got something to eat after taking a shower. I was going to go out and do a little bit of drinking, chase women, stuff like that. And she was sitting on the couch. I gave her a hug. And we talked for a while. And she asked me, the subject came up about Lord of the Rings. She asked me how come my name wasn't on the credits, and I sort of kind of like thought she was having dementia or going senile. And I said, well, because I didn't have nothing to do with it. She says, you didn't. I said, no, I didn't. She said, well, you told that story. I said, I did. She said, you did. Anywho, long story short, I promised to write, and she went and bought me a laptop and Microsoft Office. I tried some stuff and I had my wife read it for me, and she come up with the idea of saying it's good, but I don't like it. That still makes me laugh. I didn't know what she meant back then, because I was kind of green around the ears. Not that I'm too much riper now, but anywho, the words "it's good" and "I don't like" they don't go together. So that was how that went. And I heard a book by Rick Waltieri, Bill the Vampire. And I reached out to Rick. The series at the time was a bestseller. I figured he was, a famous guy. I never would hear nothing from him, but in which way I reached out, thanked him for the story, and he inspired me to write my own. And he got back with me and he encouraged me. And if you have not read or heard the Rick Waltieri's Bill the Vampire, I highly recommend it. It is an extremely good series if you like urban fantasy. But anywho, I went to my wife on a more serious note. I told her, it's good. I don't like it. That don't make no sense to me. What kind of book do you like to read? And I'm going to write a book. She said, romance. I said, all right, here we go. I went back to the story that I've been writing on for, 20 years. 2000. I started writing in 2001, so this is 2018, so 17 years. So I've been writing at that time roughly about 15. I bet I deleted over 2 million words to the story. And there was a segment in there about dancers. And the segment had gotten so big that I actually stopped, narrowed it down, and deleted most of it. But anywho, She's not into mytho- mythology or medieval times, so I had to bring the story up to more of a modern day setting. And I wrote it. And I was having so much fun with it that I was going to continue writing on it anyway. I was writing anyway for pastime. So I give her book one, and I say, "Here you go, baby." And I continued on. She read it, and she called me when she finished book one. She said, "Nathan, have you wrote any more on this story?" I said, "Yeah, I'm about half through with book two. Did you like it?" She said, "Oh, I loved it. It was great." I said, "Okay. Enough for me to publish it?" "Yes." But we never talked about money setting aside to do it or all that, so I didn't think she was too serious about it. So I didn't bring it up. My wife's the type that says one thing and means another. She got about half through with book two, and I was driving down the road. She called me. She said, "Nathan, have you got any more written on book two?" I said, "Yes, I do." She said, "Could you send it to me?" I said, "Yeah." Well, it went on. Um, it went on, and I was nearly about done with the book. And she called me up. She said, "Nathan, have you got any more wrote?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "Send it to me." I sent it to her, and the next day she said, "Nathan, have you wrote any more?" I said, "No, not since yesterday." She said, "Stop and write." I said, "Do what?" "Stop and write." I said, "Okay." And I did what she said. I didn't start on book three until a few weeks later, excuse me. And I went to her when I was at home and I said, "Baby," I said, "you like my story. Do you like it enough to publish?" She said, "I told you I did." I said, "Okay, then we need to start figuring out how we're going to do it." I know I couldn't send my stuff in without it being edited. I knew it was going to do that. I was going to have to do that because I'm ignorant. I got a seventh grade education, and if you was to put it in today's educational standards, I may go up to the second grade if I'm lucky. Um, so she started letting me, and I was rushing, and of course, when you rush, you don't do things right, and I did not do it right. I'll be honest about that. And after everything was said and done, it took me about three times to get the book actually where I wanted it to go. And last year, I got book one the way it should be, and book two published. And we was talking about book three, and I told my wife, I said, I want to, I want to um, publish everything to the to the to the collection. And we sat down and we talked, and she said it was a good idea. That was basically how it all got started. Um, and since I rushed, everything went kind of haywire. I'll be honest. At first, I kicked myself in the butt for doing things bass backwards,